All right, this is Bryan Weir from Whitby Oshawa Honda. Thank you for tuning in. It is minus 15 degrees outside with the wind chill factor, and it's going to snow. So it's a great time to talk about SUVs, especially mid-size SUVs, and I'm very, very proud to present the Honda Pilot. This vehicle is awesome. It is an award winner. It has been voted the best buy for a mid-size SUV. It is the best SUV brand. It's a 2019 IIHS top safety pick. And it's also won the ALG Residual Value Award. Now what that means is it has the highest future value, okay? So the resale value in this car is going to be higher than any other competitor. So if resale value is important to you, the Pilot's a great car. All right, so let me tell you about this one. This one is, oddly enough, it's white. It's the white black edition. And this one is the fully loaded. This is the top of the line one, and she is a beauty. All right, so some of the cool things with the Pilots: keyless entry, push button start, and a remote starter. You're gonna need this. This one has heated seats and cooling seats for the summer, which is wonderful. They come in a 7-passenger or 8-passenger configuration, so depending what your needs are, you can go either way. It's also got the Honda sensing technology. So I've talked about this before. I'll just briefly say it's a whole extra suite of driver-assisted safety technology. There will be another video coming that's focused on Honda safety. Bottom line is there's a radar system behind the emblem, and there's a camera mounted to the rear view mirror. So it's got a whole suite of things that'll try to prevent you from colliding with another vehicle, keep you safe in the lane, and actually it will probably impact your insurance premium. It should actually go down. Now, it's extremely fuel efficiency for the classification of vehicle that it is. The Honda, it's a V6 motor, and it has something called VCM, which is variable cylinder management. Now, you won't feel it, you don't have to do anything, but when it can, it's going to go from a 6-cylinder to a 3-cylinder to try to optimize your fuel efficiency. You can also engage the Eco Assist, which is going to put you into essentially a fuel saver mode. You'll save fuel and you'll save money there as well. And you can also engage the engine idle stop feature. So if you're stopped at a light, the engine will shut off. And when you accelerate, actually when you start taking your foot off the pedal or start moving the steering wheel, the engine will start to re-engage. So that's another way to save fuel in this vehicle. Again, super safe car, legendary Honda quality, and the Pilot versatility is amazing. A lot of people will choose this over a minivan sometimes if you're an anti-minivan person. The third row is really functional, and as an adult I can actually get into the third row, so I'll demonstrate that in a bit. All right, let me pop the hood, let me show you what's underneath, okay? Oh, I should point out while I'm here, the LED headlights and the LED fog lights. There's also LED running lights. This looks so amazing on the street. I love this car. All right, you got a giant jug of wiper fluid here. You're not always going to be topping this up in the wintertime. It's a 6-liter jug of wiper fluid, and you do get the low wiper fluid warning, which is really important for Canada. You'll see Earth Dreams technology on the motor. Honda has challenged itself to reduce emissions by 30% and be the most fuel-efficient vehicle in every class where it competes, and the Pilot's a great example of that. It's an extremely safe vehicle. It's got the ACE body structure, and that stands for Advanced Compatibility Engineering. Again, you're paying for quality with Honda. It's amazing how Hondas are made. I've talked to this in other videos. The employees on the line get paid for perfection. They switch positions on the line every 40 minutes, so they're fresh. But when it comes to safety, this is one of the key pillars of the Honda brand. The Pilot in particular has a really high content of high tensile steel, which is stronger than regular steel, but it's also less weight. And if there was a collision, it's going to disperse the energy around the cabin versus going through the cabin. I cannot tell you how important this is to your protection. And if you did get into a serious head-on collision, the engine mount's going to drop out completely. You may run over it, but it's not going to visit you in the cabin. Now, one of the key things about the Pilot in particular, everything is at a level above the average. And that's what makes so much value into this vehicle. So it's not just radio, it's high definition radio. It's not just all-wheel drive, it's all-wheel drive where you can actually select the road conditions you're on. It's not just a DVD player if it's equipped, it's a Blu-ray DVD. So everything is a step above, and the Pilot actually gets cross-shopped with a lot of luxury brands. It's that good. All right, let's take a look around the car. Okay, so the Touring Edition or Black Edition, it's got blind spot detection on both sides. It's got 20-inch rims, and with the Black Edition, the black finish here, I think this is the most beautiful SUV on the market right now. Keyless entry, the key can just be in your pocket. It's going to unlock for you, and if you press this button on the way out, it will lock behind you. It also has the walkaway lock setting, so if you're prone to forget locking the vehicle, you can set it up so if the key gets a certain proximity away, it'll lock behind you in case you forget. Okay, doors open nice and wide. It's got integrated sunscreens in the door. And there already is a factory tint back here as well, so especially if you've got little kids in the back, they're going to be protected from the UV rays. It is tri-zone climate control, so left, right, and the back. And there's actually a proper plug in there. You could plug in a toaster into this thing if you had to. Now it's going to vary from package to package, but again, this is the top of the line one that we have here as well. Heated seats in the front and the back. And this one is a 7-passenger configuration because it's a black edition. If it's a touring edition, it'll be 7 or 8. And if it's an LX or EX or EXL trim, it's going to be an 8-passenger configuration only. All right, let me bring you to the back here. LED taillights, very nice and bright at night. If anybody rear-ends you in this car, they must be severely distracted or impaired. Hopefully it never happens. Your backup camera's right here. Honda is definitely aware of Canadians with their snow brushes, so there's a special coating on it, so you're not going to wreck it with the brush. It's got great ground clearance, especially for the winter that we're about to receive. And this one actually has a power tailgate with the kick function. And so if your hands are full of groceries, a little soccer kick under the bumper, it's going to open up for you. So let's demonstrate that now. So right now this area is on the lower level. All right, this is really smart. This is so your groceries and stuff don't roll around. But if you want to have it all flat and flush, you just lift this up and it locks in place. There you go. So it's all flat. If you need more space, just pull these and down you go. And the 2 seats in front will do the same. So they're all going to go down nice and flat. You got loads of cargo space in here. So even if you don't have people in the 3rd row, you can enjoy the functionality of all the extra cargo space. Really good design, like outstanding. And I'll put it down lower again. It's that easy. All right, please follow me. All right, here's another nice treat about the Pilot. It is capless refueling. So the nozzle just goes straight in. There's no more clicking and cracking with the cap, which you'll really appreciate during this cold winter. You'll get out of that fuel station a lot faster this way. And just takes 87 octane. There's no need for premium fuel. And actually, that's one thing that people that are considering a vehicle, especially when you're comparing the Pilot to luxury brands, you don't need premium fuel. And also on that note, the cost of ownership is extremely low. I mean, it's got legendary Honda quality anyway, but you've got all the features that are trying to save you fuel, and there's no preset service interval in a Honda. The maintenance minder system will let you know when it requires service. So when the vehicle's new or when it's been serviced, it's going to indicate that your oil life is at 100%. And number of driving cycles and conditions and so forth, that number ticks down. When it gets down to 15% of the oil life, it'll say service the engine soon, and at 5%, service the engine now. You're going to have really long gaps before coming into the dealership with any service. So it's going to save you money. And that's the beautiful part of cost of ownership. You're paying for quality with Honda, but when you factor in the ownership cost, that's why it's a top value brand on SUV. Okay, so let's talk about the 2nd row seats here. You've seen the rear seats that kind of go flat. All you need to do, down like so, both seats will do that. So it can all be nice and level. You can carry so much stuff in there. Now, if I need to get in the back of the vehicle, there's a little button behind the seat. I press this, and down we go. You know, I can actually get in the 3rd row as an adult. I'm about 5'10". I'm even cheating a little bit there. But as an adult, I can actually get the 3rd row. That's something you need to test out when you're shopping for an SUV. When it's an 8-passenger, see if you can actually fit in the 3rd row, and not just for the kids. You might need that when you're out with your friends. Loads of standard features in this vehicle. Like, I'm really just scratching the surface. And you know, how about let's go inside? I'll show you even more, okay? Now, especially if you're married, it does have the memory seat functions, okay? So between key 1 and 2, it's gonna remember your seat position. Against a marriage saver. It is a power driver seat, and it has lumbar support. And this one's got some extra special red stitching in it because it is the black edition. It actually has power folding mirrors. So if you happen to have a fairly tight garage situation, you can power fold the mirrors, or going through a car wash. A lot of people like that too. You can open the power tailgate from the inside as well. And it's got a great feature for Canada, and this is the wiper de-icer system. So there's a little button down there, and when I engage that, the lower part of the front window and the rear window is going to warm up. It's going to melt the ice off the blades for you. You're going to need it this winter, I can assure you. It's also got parking sensors, okay? So in case you're not used to driving a larger vehicle, I think you'll appreciate the parking sensors. Please follow me. Now this one has available paddle shifters if you want to engage them. The default is to have the vehicle in the auto position for the headlights. Now when it's in the auto position, the headlights will just come on or off depending how dark it is outside. And it's also got the auto high beam feature. So imagine if you're on a country road at night, you might have your high beams on. You see a car coming, you turn them off and then back on, then off. The pilot can see the other vehicles coming, so it's going to do that for you. So you're going to maximize your nighttime visibility. All right, the steering wheel is telescopic. It'll go up, down, forward, and back. So you can be very precise with your comfort settings. And everything is really, really easy to use. It's a brilliantly smart layout on this vehicle. So you can do your cruise control, your audio control. You can change your radio stations, your volume control, all from the touch of the steering wheel, and your Bluetooth. You can answer calls, hang up calls, and your phone is set up for voice-activated functionality. And on that note, you need to know the Pilot is compatible with Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, not just one. Now this one's already got Garmin-based Navi included in the vehicle, and you get free updates for several years after you buy the vehicle. So Navi's already included in a touring package, or if it's an EXL Navi package. But regardless of the trim level, if it's an EX or an LX, you will get Navi through your phone, provided you've got a data plan by using Apple CarPlay or Android Auto. That's absolutely wonderful. Okay, this package has heated seats and cooled seats. I miss the days when we need cooled seats, but when the summer rolls around, you'll appreciate this too. And with the remote starter, it's not just for the cold. There's a default of 22 degrees. So if you're in a warmer climate, you can pre-start the car. It'll actually cool the car down for you before you get in, which is another great feature, especially if you've got little kids going in the car. They won't be stifling hot back there. All right. It is a Blu-ray DVD, so you've got your movie station up here. It does come with 2 wireless headsets. You've got a 2-way conversation mirror up here. This is your sunglass holder. If you stop it here, now you've got eyes in the back of your head. There's no escaping mom and dad in this car. Absolutely beautiful audio system, very clean. Again, it is HD quality radio. And this particular package will be equipped with rain sensing wipers too. Now the speedometer is really easy to read. It is digital. And if you went to the States, for example, you can convert it over to miles per hour. It's really easy to do in the settings. You've got a nice big giant bin here. And to change the road conditions that you're on. So there's basically the regular all-wheel drive system, but then you can specify if you're in sand, snow, or mud. So this takes all-wheel drive up to a new level, especially the snow mode. You're really going to appreciate that this year. It just kind of redeploys torque and just makes it more effective in those road conditions. So again, bad winter's on the way, polar vortex, whatever that is, you need this car. All right. Okay, one of my favorite things in the world is a heated steering wheel. That's a little button here. The entire Honda steering wheel heats up. Same steering wheel basically that's in the CR-Vs. And if you start the car remotely, if it's a bitter cold day outside, you know, the cabin's gonna warm up, the windows will start to defrost, the heated mirrors will come on, the heated seats will come on, and the heated steering wheel. It's the nicest treat you can have for a vehicle in winter in Canada or anywhere in the States where you're going to get a lot of snow. You'll really appreciate the Pilot. All right, so power driver's seat. I got my lumbar support. Feels so good. And now, one thing that's really, really important to justify the value in this particular Pilot trim is HondaLink. Now, there's actually different types of HondaLink. There's HondaLink Assist, which is going to be in all Hondas, and this is the invent of an airbag deployment. The car's calling Honda. There's an operator standing by 24 hours, 7 days a week. They will locate where you are, and they'll send out emergency services. So that's HondaLink Assist. Now, there's HondaLink, which means essentially you get a concierge service. There's an emergency call button here, and it does a lot of neat things. It's almost like the vehicle becomes an extension of your cell phone. And imagine if you've got children of driving age and they want to borrow the Pilot. You can geo-fence an area, so if they say, Mom and Dad, I'm going to the movies, you can set an area, and if they go outside that area, you'll be notified. You can even set a speed limit, so it's like parental controls on the car. But just by pressing a button, you'll get a live operator, and the vehicle becomes an AT&T Wi-Fi hotspot. And you know how important that is these days. Everyone has to be connected. So no matter where you go in your Pilot, you're going to have access to the internet. So that's one of the added value things that you get with this particular Pilot package. All right. Here's the idle stop and go button here. And when that's on or off, again, this will stop the vehicle at a light, stop the engine at a light. And this button here is so important. So this is the button you'll press to change the driving mode. So normal, snow, mud, or sand. So regardless of the road conditions you're in, the Pilot's going to be up to the challenge for you. And there's safety in that. All right, so you got heated seats in the back too. People in the back can also control their own climate if they want. There's an HDMI input as well, so that gives you so much versatility with entertainment. And I love this part here. You could actually plug in a toaster or so many other devices, especially if you're camping, you got a toast. All right, here's the DVD system here. It's not properly configured, but you know, if you got young ones or friends on a trip, they'll really appreciate the movie theater. Again, DVD and Blu-ray DVD, it'll play both for you. All right, so happy kids, happy mom and dad. All right, so here's the Garmin-based Navi. Garmin is probably the best GPS system in the world, in my opinion. Absolutely outstanding. You do get free updates for a while, and it is satellite-based, so it's in real time. So let's say you're traveling somewhere, if there's a slowdown ahead, you'll be notified in advance, and it'll adjust your estimated time of arrival for you. Another great treat is down here. It is cordless recharging. So depending on if you got the appropriate phone, depending if it's one of the newer iPhones, virtually all Android phones, just by having your phone sit here, it's going to recharge without having to use a cable. So it's a really nice treat for the pilot as well. Now the backup camera is multi-angle camera, so there's got dynamic guidelines. You can look straight down or different wider angles, and in this particular package it does have cross-traffic monitoring. So let's say you're in a plaza and you're backing out of a space, you may not see other cars coming down the lane. The pilot can see them, so it's going to notify you, hey, don't reverse any further, cars are approaching you. So another great safety feature for the pilot. All right, so these are called dynamic guidelines. It's going to show you the trajectory where you're turning. It's a multi-angle camera, you can look straight down. These dotted lines are clearance for the tailgate, and it's actually really good because if you had a trailer hitch, you could line the car up on your own if you didn't have any help. And then the angles go wider and wider. Great visibility. Again, there's safety and visibility, and yeah, huge backup camera coming through the big screen here. I think you'll really appreciate it. Okay, so this one, because it's a 7-passenger vehicle, it's not just a moonroof. It's got the panoramic roof in the back as well. So you've got lots of light coming in this car if you want. And if you want to have it all closed, there is a button here and the screen will close over in the back and just manually close this. It is a one-touch tilt and it's a one-touch open. And you can stop it partway at any point by pressing up, and then it's a one-touch close. I miss the sun. Okay, so I am just scratching the surface on the Pilot. There's so many class-leading things in this vehicle. To really understand it, you should really come down to Whitby Oshawa Honda, 300 Thickson Road South, and you can even ask for me, Bryan Weir, if you want. It truly is an award-winning car, and it is worthy of your consideration. I know it's got to be hard if you're shopping for an SUV at this point, but the Pilot is a champion. I think you'll really appreciate the versatility and all the amazing things it can do, especially considering, I keep saying this, we're in for a bad winter, and you'll need a winter-capable vehicle like the Pilot to keep you and your family safe. So thank you for tuning in. My name is Bryan Weir from Whitby Oshawa Honda. Thank you.